Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane. We are off here to a cold battle on Sumoski. No, not Sumoski. Holotny Farmer Winter. For some reason, Sumoski's been on my mind lately. But no, that is not the map we're playing on. We're playing on Holotny Farmer Winter. We should be watching Fortune here fighting for Germany, crashing ahead for the Panzer Division, striking against Sturmtiger Giap here, fighting for the United States of America. And the 3rd Infantry Division holding the line courageously as the Krauts make a run for, well, whatever's behind them. With infantry, airborne and rifle. So rather heavy sort of emphasis on infantry here from Giap in terms of commander availability, although there is a bit of armor there. Fortune with breakthrough, Luftwaffe and scavenge. He seems to be quite fanciful of those, though of course also a nice bit of infantry available there as well. But while being laid down here by the reassuring troops by Giap. We're noting a northern push here by Fortune, straight for the fuel here. Volkswagen's following up. Interesting note, he's acting here. He could in fact risk that someone might have rushed for the building here, but he made a straight rush, almost a straight rush for himself as well. So that's actually a bit of an interesting move here. Also, I didn't know Fortune was from Finland. Interesting. Giap, by the way, from Vietnam, but Fortune from Finland? I would have guessed, actually. Well, you learn something every day. But there we go, pretty common standard move here to sort of wire off the truck here depending on what side you are, just to ensure the other bastard doesn't get to use it. Truck here being used to push around with, it would seem. Cheeky Fortune, dirty move there. Point being secured, notes the Kubelwagen also ramming for Fortune, the Kubelwagen. Meanwhile, after going up versus Sturmpioniere, fuel point now being harassed by the reassuring troops. Raven falling back here. Under the threat of the truck. Another rifle squad they're arriving for. Fortune, my apology. Oh, Giap for apology for springing out the camera a bit too much there. But there you go, reassuring troops will be caught here between the Kubelwagen and the Sturmpioniers. We do see him, well, steadily retreating there. They're not before his man to into the point neutral. Truck taking their few shots, rendering all the barbed wire useless, by the way. That I suppose is one way of doing it. More riflemen arriving, Volkswagen's falling back there, apparently not interested in going for the fuel point down south. But a rather interesting opening here. I mean, usually that is not how you'd see sort of any sort of progress on Holotny Farmer made, but it seems like Fortune went for something pretty unorthodox, and it can actually work. Generally, if you can catch your opponent completely off guard, you can usually throw him into some position he might not be quite ready for. So in that regard, he probably did succeed here in keeping Giap off a bit off balance. When you keep doing that, you can generally hold a decent advantage as a player, no matter what side. Right here we see a response going in here from Fortune. Volkswagen saying south. So far 2 Volkswagen squads, this Kubelwagen, Sturmpioniers. And looks like 3rd Volkswagen squad there for Fortune. 4th Rifleman squad on the way. Shots going off there. Taking up position in the church there. Giap now a bit more on the offensive, a bit more collected. He's managed to gain the southern fuel point. A bit of reversal since, again, generally the south is going sort of more to the east, while the north is more to the west. But, oh well. Suppressive fire there. Goes off quite well, actually, in this case. A bit of a surprise move, usually. That's not to say the ability is useless, but it does require a bit of sort of careful handling to sort of get the most out of. And generally, currently, you're better off actually using it from in a building, thus minimizing the penalties you take while using it. Plus, of course, overall, having a good chance of not getting horribly murdered while using it before it manages to actually kick in, since it does take a bit of time. There you go, the rifle counter fire from the Kubelwagen, opening up step whistles there. Giap now going for the cut-off on there. He's really pouring the force into the south. Rifle, some troops remaining in there, seemingly holding a bit back here. Volkswagen actually need to be a bit careful. I mean, if Giap pulls off correctly, he could actually sit up here behind the retreat path and wipe out these Soldaten. So there's a slight chance there for Fortune. Something could already go wrong. And there we go, we are seeing it. He probably also hurt the Kubelwagen right from north this time, so going to move in here, get a killing blow there on Fortune's men, and deliver an early severe loss. There we go, we could see it happen. Close, Kubelwagen sending over. Ah! Just in the nick of time. A very, very close save there by Fortune. MG-34's arriving so clearly he's gone for the Luftwaffe, very popular commander of course, with MG-34s amongst other things, and of course the Volkswagen Jäger. generally players tend to not go beyond anything of the other abilities available, which is a bit unfortunate, a bit sad. Battle group headquarters up there for Giap. We're seeing a lieutenant arriving here, so a very infantry heavy start here. A full platoon there, well at least half a platoon then, a lieutenant to sort of add things up. That's ever going to add a lot of firepower for him. Rather than getting lightly suppressed. Storm Pioneers running amok in the north of the lieutenant here, much similar, but for some reason all of them drop to the ground. That's bloody great job there, Lewis. Kubang here making a bit of a mistake, taxiing up for the broadside of a building here. And trying to suppress that's not really going to work out. Storm Pioneers in also a lot of trouble here. You could fact see here that Fortune might quickly make some mistakes. Panther strikes already up, you might be expecting vehicles, ambulance on the way here for Giap.
A capture point is being overrun.
Kubelwagen in a rather poor position. Another MG-34 running there. So adding quite a few suppressors here to his forces. You got one Kubelwagen and two MG-34s. That's quite a lot of suppressive firepower.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture
Obviously
points.
the MG-34s will end up doing most of the work here. Ambulance arriving.
Boys, you ready to roll out?
Light assault up from the south. Full Scanadius down, or at least one down there. No commander yet here from Giap.
A capture point is under attack.
Constant harassment here for both sides fuel points, though we will note here Giap's, well, fortunately hasn't done much to sort of harass his opponent's fuel, as we see now. This is the second time that Giap has actually managed to now fuel here to Fortune. It looks like Fortune is going to lay down some heavy asses here for the MG-34. The Forces here could be in a bit of trouble there. Lieutenant, there we go. Oh, he's moving in, losing actually a good chance to get off some good shots there as they closed in on them. I might argue that was a slight mistake there. Remember, a lot of your units generally tend to shoot, become a lot less, well, do a lot less damage as they move around. Generally, they tend to do the most damage when they're standing still. So generally, you should have waited until, basically still until they passed them. Then you should have run after them. At least that would be my opinion on the matter. Rather than continuing to go up here, but they are not holding out well. Still, Giap doing what it can to delay and harass. Right here, pulls back, Storm Pioneers moving in, and Lieutenant and friends basically unable to assist. Veterans run here for the Kubelwagen, nicely done. Nicely done. Artman charging in. Doing his best to gain some ground. And we're noting their 50 caliber on the way here for Giap. That should definitely lay down some heavy firepower towards Fortune's troops.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Half track here, spotted, rifleman going in. Trying maybe to do a bit of damage.
Our supply line just got cut off.
And not only are we seeing a 50 caliber on there, he's also moving on to a captain.
What the hell am I meant to do? HMG squad ready for action.
And detection here is showing that the Kubelwagen does not immediately get flanked or anything. On the other hand, it also makes it a lot bloody slower. And that's not exactly the best thing for a swift pursuit.
A capture point is being overrun.
There you go, rifle being held up, but not really good precision. Giap should just consider falling back from here. His men outgunned. And the longer he held out, I mean, the more the right chance here. Basically, Storm Pioneers wiping up. Looks like he just fell back completely. Oh, MG-34 caught out in the open. And Fortune was quick enough to realise his error. But at the same time, he's done nicely. He actually managed to cut off the fuel here. Nice flanking about there. And it looks like he said about attacking and clearing out the bastards. Again, all the fuel points will basically shift here. And we're seeing his spare Panther quads going out at the same time. Sadly, he was not aware of this. So a bit of a missed chance here to actually wipe it out already and cause a bit of resource loss there for Fortune. And already here, it's ready. The Lieutenant might consider finding another place to be, since that shed is not exactly known for its protective abilities versus high explosive rounds.
A capture point is under attack.
But while going up, it looks like he's going to sort of protect from a northern attempt, sort of breaking in there. So switch there in map control. 50 cal taking up dominant position here in the centre. Detection moving ahead here, probably realising something's up there. Mein Kubelwagen sense is tingling. We probably should not be moving ahead further. At least that's sort of the best explanation I can sort of give for that. So there we go. And already they're going to be a bit hard to sort of just sneak in here. Now they're going to have to take a further longer route, though He might want to try and get these warmed up a bit. Before they completely freeze stiff. And an anti-tank following up here for Giap, worried about enemy armor or light vehicles. Not bad, not bad. Also continuing position here, couldn't necessarily set up an anti-tank and he began blasting away. He just needs to keep it sufficiently covered so that Fortune couldn't rush it and clear it out before he managed to clear out the Schwer Panzer quarters. In which case he could definitely do quite a bit of harm there. But there go 57 anti-tank arriving here. Kugelwagen moving ahead. You need to be a bit careful. I mean, if Giap feels a bit confident, he could try and rush into the capture and get off a rocket or two and send this thing to Kingdom Come.
A capture point is under attack.
Oh, looks like it might happen now. And there we go. One rocket went through, leaving it a smouldering wreck. MD-34 though setting up, so ultimately the result is still he has to get the hell out of there, but not before him again managed to render the fuel neutral. There's a good job. I mean, he's keeping up some good pressure there on Fortune's fuel point, knowing of course that is a massive weakness there. More way up here is definitely going to make it difficult sort of for Fortune to make a rush for this point, and also which means he either has to pass through here, where there's a 50 caliber,
Ops report the weather is lifting.
ready to inform them of there's no passage there for Krauts, or take a much longer route up here, which could also cause some problems. So overall, not bad, not bad. Lieutenant here is about to freeze to death. But over to Fortune with Fallschirmjägers out as well. Though interesting enough, he could have gone for Obersoldaten, but there's a Fallschirmjäger here. A bit of lighter infantry.
The weather has cleared.
Obersoldaten on the way. With something that looks like a knight's cross there with swords, if you will. Moving up there. Oh, getting shot down. Or could it be a war cross actually? There's something like that. Anyway, oh, supplies up there, quickly healing. Good job there, good job there. A slightly neglected ability. And tank can just blasting away, not moving forwards. And we see some. Oh, I like Stuart tank has arrived for Giap. M5A1 was later meant to be replaced by the M24 Chaffee, but the Chaffee never really arrived in large enough numbers. Giap though setting up for a sort of two-pronged assault, one north, one south. Northern troops are about to get one hell of a surprise here as the Stuart light tank arrives, and there you go, this becomes a very swift retreat here. There we go. Troops run off. For once, his active fortunes of man so quickly render a point neutral before being run off. Fallschirmjäger Volksreich moving in. Stuart needs to be careful here. And there you go. There we go. Fallschirmjäger's within Panther fast range. Panther connecting as well. Captain moving up. Not really the best man to sort of keep everything covered here. And at the same time, popping up Fallschirmjäger's squad here. Clearly, he wants to get off another Panzerfaust on it. But at the same time, he can't hold up because then the Volksreich with a Panzerstrike arrive. He's a bit in a nasty spot here. He did not expect Fortune to be so utterly obsessed with trying to get that Stuart light tank. It will certainly also put the remaining troops in a bit of trouble since now again there's basically under fire from all sides here. There we go, Panzerfaust. Only knocking out the main gun though. But looks like, yes, Jürgen did it. He got the Stuart. Sadly, Giap's Stuart light tank there did not manage to do much in the end, and the rear troops were also met with a terrible demise there by the hands of the Fallschirmjägers. 50 cal being moved up, Rifle moving up as well. So noticeably large infantry force here for Fortune. 2 Fallschirmjägers, 1 Obersoldaten, 3 Volksgrenadiers and a Sturmpioneer. Gott in Himmel. That's an awful lot of infantry. And a smoke grenade here to cover the retreat also forced them from pursuing, or at least have to take a detour. And he still fights on, Yeah, Fortune's Fallschirmjäger are quite spirited there in their fight against the Wahl armies. So that was a bit of a brave stand there. Meanwhile, the south is, well, largely safe here, and looks like we're seeing some troops sneaking up there. Carving the south entirely with MG-34s. Interesting. Of course, question is how will Giap react to this? He could get a field howitzer or something to maybe try and deal with this, or another Stuart, I suppose. I mean, there are options. Or he could consider getting some upgrades. I mean, BARs could, for example, work reasonably well here versus all this infantry. Would certainly boost his infantry's firepower noticeably. And he's also got the munitions for it. Good lord, 300. He could easily equip all of them with at least one BAR and one more with 2 BARs. Another 50 caliber here. And he's gone rifle, and he's actually equipping his rifle here with flamethrowers. That will definitely increase the firepower up close. Though versus the Fallschirmjägers and the Orbital Darden, it might be a bit of a questionable choice, as of course they do excel at longer ranges. So he's going to have to sort of get clever at getting up close to them. Otherwise, the only effect he's going to be is basically wasting munitions to then get gunned down. I mean, sure, if he can get them rifling close enough, they'll win, but that's it. And there you go, nicely positioned MG-34, making this point here not very good. Tank traps to cover at the flank here. Good job there, good thinking. That's definitely going to prevent any armor from rushing to the 8 here. I think that's the first time in months I've actually seen someone lay down tank traps. That's the Oberkommando of S, by the way. Well, thumbs up to Fortune. Good job here, the fighter. And he's using smoke. Again, good, he's actually flashing out there with smoke. And wiping out the 50 caliber as well. Good use of the smoke here, which by the way... No, he's running into it! He's running into it! Oh, seems like the smoke has dissipated. But he has a chance of actually stealing a 50 caliber and turning against the Amerikanen. A really nicely executed infantry assault there. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. And again, another smoke grenade there. And note there, he throws it in the path it has to get out of there. In this case, they seem to get out of there. And there you go, another 50 caliber cleared up, but there you go. Tons of flamethrowers. So much fire. Grenades going off as well. Fallschirmjägers barely making out of there alive. Volksgrenadiers, not quite as much. Unit wiped out. No survivors. Save our good soldiers. Orbital are not forced away. A tide of fire. Well, portable fire anyways. 50 calibers were not secured there. I think he could have done that, although he had to use the Fallschirmjägers for that, so I suppose that could have been an argument against it. Quick steel hand grenade it. But the flamethrowers already getting close here. MG-34 has to be dispatched there to sort of quickly stem the American advance here. And another Stuart light tank. So he did go for another one, though. Do now see grenades, smoke grenades up for him. So both players are now utilising smoke there for slightly different purposes. Oh dear, the rifle about to get wiped out. No, no. Stuart saved the day. Stuart light tank saved the day. Very close shave there. Troops healing, reinforcing. Going to be a bit expensive as reinforce all those Fallschirmjägers. They are not exactly cheap to come by. But not if you want the good ones, which were becoming increasingly rare by 1944-45. By that stage, a lot of Fallschirmjägers were basically just guys in Luftwaffe uniforms. They didn't even have the characteristic Fallschirmjäger Helm, but basically a Stahl helmet with a Luftwaffe marking on it. So, little fun fact there. I mean, basically only a few of the Fallschirmjäger divisions by that time were actually a veteran and actually a sort of elite mention. The rest were of noticeably lower quality. So, probably not something you actually hear so much about. They also had their own assault gun battalions, by the way. Another fun little fact. So yeah, Fallschirmjäger Stugs. Think about that one for a bit. Panther on the way here. Expected end game there, not a bad one there. Certainly one of the safe options, in particular once you get a MG-42 popped on it. Nice job though, trying to set up some sandbags, but the Stuart light tank there quickly puts a permanent stop to that there. But now something a bit big has arrived. It's a Panzerkampfwagen 5. Another good job here with using smoke. And the Oberstdorf up north there. Holding back the riflemen, but Stuart light tank moves in there. Panther still a bit far away there. Captain, no, exposing the rear to the captain of the bazookas, there we go. Panther's rear and sides were actually quite thin compared to the front. And also noticeably less sloped. In fact, that's out, I think it was like 30 or 40 million side armor. That was later upgraded to 50. So that would do nothing against the bazooka. And the side, oh, the rear was even thinner. It's a little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. 5 minutes joining in. Oh, Panther kept getting stuck. That sucks. Oh, wait, he managed to force it back there. A small bit of luck for Giap. 50 calibers, smoke grenades again, it would seem, or something else. Oh, there we go. He's acting against Kyoto. What's this? A Browning looks like. Oh, the lieutenant went down. What a shame. What a shame. The lieutenant was a good man. But back here to Giap, fighting onwards. Versus the Kraut hordes. Still retaining quite a bit of infantry despite the lack of the lieutenant here. And there we go, a grenade. Oh, he was hoping they'd pursue. Apparently, I think expected the infantry was just here, ranged here with the FT-42s and their veterans and basically make short work of the riflemen. An absolute shame there for Giap. But the students ready to move out again. Good work, good work.
Send your orders.
It generally found itself work as sort of a light infantry support weapon by the later stage of World War II, since it couldn't really operate well on its own anymore. Nice hit there, and there go Panther moving up. No pencil mounted machine gun yet. Really should consider this really. Oh, there we go. Actually, anti-tank are nowhere to be sighted to help.
Armor ready. What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green is green. On your feet, ladies. Watch for
Captain moving off, and again harassment there for the fuel point, laying down a smoke screen again. Wonderful, wonderful. But now things are a bit more nasty. We are seeing 2 fighting Jaegers, 1 orbital done unit, all veterans E2, and all out for blood. Looks like Giap here's making a run for it, but I fear it won't be enough. There we go. A tragic harassment attempt there, costing the veteran unit. He can, of course, quickly replace the losses here thanks to elite rifleman training. Though I always prefer considering less like training and just more like finding some veterans from some previous battle zone. I don't think the Americans actually had a system for sort of getting rookies trained up sort of before heading out to the front line. That was actually a German thing. Since the Germans had what was known as the Training and Replacement Battalion for most of its division, it was basically a unit where all recruits would pass through, usually instructed then by division veterans and officers and the likes, before then being sent off to the front line, ensuring that the recruits actually had sort of a bit more experience in general and a bit more clear idea of what being sent out into. It's a fun little fact. It's definitely not something actually talked about much about German divisions whatsoever. But another man engaged involved in trouble. Looks like the captain is about to go down. EC8 here available, and looks like that is what Giap is in fact going to rely on here a bit. Rather than going to go away. Stewart needs to go away.
We just lost a unit.
And of course it can't escape here, so there's actually a chance of the Panther knocking it out. Thanks to the well-placed tank traps there by him. But no! Oh, never mind. Oh, a bit too slow there or something. Oh, wait, the Steward took a hit there from the 75mm high-velocity gun. No survivors. No survivors.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
50 caliber, of course. Nope, is actually quick to shift windows. And is immediately finding where they're on the Fallschirmjäger. And looks like a bazooka was dropped there. In fact, the captain was utterly annihilated, dropping both bazookas. Now, that's a rare occurrence. I'm sure not a development that Giap is particularly fond of. Packhauser also moved up. And he's beginning to actually lose a bunch of men here. This is looking very bad. His 50 caliber froze to death, and I was probably also wiped out here by the Obersoldaten. The situation is overall a bit back there for Giap. He is overextending a bit too much. Looks like he's finally getting some shots off there on the Schwerpanzer headquarters, albeit a bit too late there. He could have probably prevented the Panther a bit faster and more aggressively trying to do that. There we go, Panther arrives. He could switch over to armor piercing rounds here, try and knock it out from the front. No, he's still intent on clearing out the Schwerpanzer headquarters here. Instead, he ends up pulling back here, perhaps worried about a large infantry assault inbound. Though he still has to worry because anything bigger than an infantryman needs to take this path up here, so he has to be a bit more careful and could risk losing units. Looks like the weapon here making an ambush. And there you go, Valiant Assault anyways. I can't remember the expression. Was it Valiant Assault? Yes, indeed, Valiant Assault. I was a bit worried I was mixing up with another, but there we go. Actually, good job allowing him to sprint, be more accurate. Excellent use there, sort of leading assault there. Sadly, though, the Steward and the Rifleman were more than enough to ruin this rather valiant assault. Still no sign of being able to deal with the Panther's frontal armor. Veterans, you free up. Rifleman veterans on the way there. He could also lay down a white phosphorus smoke barrage here, trying to cover his retreat from here. It would also ensure the Panther couldn't easily pursue. Looks like that's not what he wants to do. But unfortunately, I think that could have been a nice opportunity to sort of escape things in. There we go. Anti-tank gun was wiped out. Quite unfortunate. And looks like he's about to lose the Sherman as well here. One more well-placed ship from the Panther. Nope. In fact, the Panther's almost wiped out there. Can't help but feel that Giap might have made a few mistakes during that engagement, which did allow Forge to sort of pull out of it and get his anti-tank gun there wound up with all the experience. At least he was able to salvage the Sherman. That would have been much more unpleasant had he lost that in the process as well. But actually, time for the mid-game analysis current situation. In terms of damage, they're actually extremely equal. I mean, we're talking very small margin there in terms of damage. Kills-wise, Fortune is somewhat ahead. I mean, it's not a huge gap though, so it's nothing completely out of place here for Giap to sort of handle. And in terms of map control, Giap so far is controlling both viewpoints, which is good for him. He's also controlling, well, not most of the victory points, though he should be able to sort of reasonably swiftly secure the northern one if he can clear up that MG-34. A quick rush there with a Sherman EC-8 should be able to remind Fortune to be a bit more careful about things up north. In terms of force size, I mean, he's got a pretty reasonable one. He's got lots of 50 calibers, howitzer, veteran infantry with a bit of this and that. Of course, that's not to say that Fortune's got a negligible infantry force. He's got several Fallschirmjägers, Volksgrenadiers, some Obersoldaten, and of course the Panther. In that regard, I mean, his major asset and major issue is probably going to be that Panther for the time being. I mean, that's really going to be one thing that can really threaten him quite severely and put a lot of pressure on him. So the faster he can do something about that, the better. Also noting here a mechanized regiment headquarters is also up for Fortune. But you could of course bring some nasty bits with it besides repairing the Panther. I mean, there could for example be the eventuality of a Sturmkampffuß to provide artillery support then. Although of course another option is go for a Sturmtiger. But Panther here main priority, and also trying to clear out that Schwerpanzer headquarters could do a lot of good there for Giap, so he should probably sort of aim for these as strategic goals while securing the point up here. And get that anti-tank gun back, use some armor-piercing rounds, and of course the more Sherman EC-8 he can get, and that could be also good for him. He might also consider actually using a Stuart light tank to support them with its stun ability, and that could actually give him the extra edge he needs versus the Panther. So that would be a little something to keep in mind as well. Looking at Fortune, we aren't factoring a Sturmkampffuß on the way, so that's definitely not going to bring in good news there in for Giap's forces. Otherwise, I mean, infantry force-wise, he's looking reasonably alright, although the Volksgrenadier is obviously hanging back and not really achieving much. The Fallschirmjägers and the Obersoldaten are definitely carrying the fight here for Fortune at the moment. So that's overall not too bad there for him. And of course he's also got two MG-34s locking down vital areas and also making any movements there from Giap a bit more difficult. As for his moves, I mean, he could try breaking up the centre. I mean, he's definitely got some easy targets here for his Sturmkampffuß. Northern side could also see some easy targets there, clearing out a 50 caliber, for example. And he should definitely sort of try to secure the north a bit more better. Since he can lock it off like this, he can much more easily hold the north, the resources here, and the victory points here, and also much more securely threaten Giap from the north as well, then, which would certainly make things more difficult, because right now Giap has a much more easier time of basically sort of holding up things, and as you might be noting, it's a much more narrow area, which does make it easier for Giap to focus all fire on this spot. So that would be something to keep in mind there for Fortune as well. He could consider laying down some trenches or flat emplacements to cover maybe up some of the points here or there. That could also make things a bit more awkward for Giap. to sort of consider. Otherwise, keep the Panther repaired, get as much veterancy as possible, and keep striking at his opponent from different points. I mean, he's doing quite a good job of that, ensuring that Giap is always a bit off balance, which is generally what you want to sort of achieve in a fight. So, let's get back to this.
Alright, you dopes, listen up.
Minesweeper's up here, by the way. Clearly, Fortune is worried about M20 mine suddenly appearing. That is understandable. I mean, he's only got one Panther, and that thing hits a mine. That could very well suddenly turn into a GG there for him.
Get ready.
And there you go. Die Stuka zu Fuß. Wurfrahmen 40. Fired some very big rockets at the enemy generally. Could also fire incendiary rockets if need be. Nice grenade there, hoping to predict the opponent's movement. That was very good throw there, very good throw, but not quite. There we go. Stuka zu Fuß firing. There we go. He's barely able to get out of the building there, but the howitzer crew, oh, they actually survived. The smoke was just so thick, couldn't even see them. Oh, the Rifleman got ambushed. Nice strike there by Fortune. Rifleman unit wiped out. I mean, Giap was suffering heavy losses. He's got Elite Rifle train to sort of try and make up for that, but it's definitely beginning to show that it's hurting him. There you go, fighting Jaeger unit already down to half a man. Panther moving in out to tank, needs to quickly set up and fire the armor-piercing rounds here. Seems like Giap is a bit reluctant to use the armor-piercing rounds there versus the Panther. I'm a bit surprised at that. Shit, though, he's pretty quick to gain veterancy too. That's good news there. The Riflemen moving in on their own, and they're about to get the MG-34 surprise. Oh, smoke screen. That can work. In particular, you can crawl up with a grenade. Looks like Fortune not paying attention. Or you could just basically shift the MG-34 while.
Gather round.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
A very curious engagement up north here. The MG-34 now being cleared out. A bit more squarely. Oh, they're pinned down. They couldn't even do that. He was a bit too lazy there, but looks like... Oh, Fortune still falling back despite the fact he pinned down the enemy. Quickly, they might overpower us by bleating at us. Retreat! We can't get our uniforms dirty. Anti-tank gun cleared out again. Storm Pioneers are getting absolutely pelted here with shots, and they're just getting evaporated. And dead. Tot! Stuka zu Fuß firing again. Unleashing a vicious barrage at the Amerikaner.
We lost a gun crew.
Getting the pack howitzer. At least the crew. And the anti-tank are firing again. Still no sign of armor-piercing rounds, particularly now that he's gained veterancy too and thus thicker armor. He really should consider that. Sherman's pushing 40 on, getting repaired. Yeah, they're still hanging on nice. It looks like these are the first grenadiers with the bazookas.
Sherman, ready for action.
Sherman, taking fire. There they are.
Veterans, if you find some Jaegers, two of them, in fact, attacking the side here. The Riflemen need to get out of there quickly before they are completely wiped out here. Oh dear, it's too late, and there you go. Vet-24 here. Bad news for any of Giap's infantry. Over to Fortune again. Panther mobilizes. Looks like the anti-tanker will not be able to help. Smoke! Oh, just in the nick of time there. Very close shave there again, but looks like Giap is able to salvage it once more. Sherman ready for the fight once more. And the Fortune Jaeger is making a northern move there. A set word northern move there from the Sherman. Another stupid suppose barrage. Looks like he's going to clear out the 50 caliber in there. Giap seemingly unawares, and there we go. No survivors. And the fighting is in a bit of trouble. And almost wiped out. An excellent shot there from the Sherman. Though there might now be a chance here for the Panther with the to get the Sherman that has a damaged engine. So advance up to the centre. He's managed to recruit the pack howitzer again, though he's slightly shifted here. He might want to sort of keep shifting it generally to sort of avoid getting hit there by the Stuka-Safus, though. I mean, the way it works, I mean, you know, shooting constantly, I mean, it's going to be a bit more difficult to sort of avoid giving away and also having time to move before getting knocked out by a barrage. Ooh, rather in trouble. Close to death there. And generally, I'm not entirely sure you could actually shoot an MU-34 on the move. I know they had a maneuver for sort of firing it while standing, and that was called Stormfire. But I'm not entirely sure you could shoot it while you were moving. I might be wrong there. There we go. Good hit there from the Sherman, penetrating the frontal armor out of the Panther. Another penetrating hit. The Panther misses. God in Himmel. Now the orbitals are getting torn apart here. And Tatanka moving up as well. Fortune is a bit on the back foot here. Giap is now providing some more serious pressure here. He could soon get another Sherman.
They're ready. Send orders. Push him back.
Our resource sector has been cut off from our supply chain.
Send orders.
Now the smoke screen.
Ready for action.
Another veteran T4. Fighting me is what moving up. Out. Right into the flamethrower. He probably could have engaged him from a safe distance. There you go. Grenade. And he runs into it. Oh, 9. Gott in Himmel. Now the Stuka-Safus barrage there going off. Probably trying to clear out the support weapons. Or something. I'm not entirely sure what that was supposed to get there.
It's time for ready for action.
We did some damage. One Sherman here close to Vetsufi, in which case things are definitely going to get a bit more ugly. Since that's going to have a high rate of fire. Another Panther Faust. And Tatanka setting up. He still seems reluctant there to use armor-piercing rounds. Panther taking heavy fire. There we go. Finally using them. Took him long enough. You know, this time it seemed to fail a bit. Shermans are forced to pull back there. Might see a third one there soon, which could really allow him to put some pressure on. But so far been making good use of the Shermans, albeit and a more defensive nature. He's sort of slowly creeping forwards. In fact, he's holding most of the victory points, most of the map. Ooh, close to it, 25.
Be advised, extreme winter conditions are affecting the lines. All units are to take immediate
And
action.
he's getting a Jagdpanzer of all things. Not what I'd expect or recommend. And he could just as well get another Panther. Also, to note, he's not trading resources here. And there go Veterans 500. They tried the smoke grenade, but didn't work out. Can they escape the wrath of the United States? Yes! Run, Dieter, run! That was a very close call there, very close call. Looks like they've stopped preparing for some reason. Oh, there we go.
It's time for action.
Panther itself close to Veteran Fleet, and there you go, Jagdpanzer 4 moving up. There we go. Smoke grenade again. Oh, nicely done there. Actually, the Americans had to retreat through, which actually make them easier to clear out. If he'd thrown a bit better, he probably could have done a lot more damage still. Nicely done there. Could even have combined it with a grenade, like a multi-laden, and sort of catch them further. But really nice job there by Fortune. Excellent use of the smoke grenades, by the way. Excellent, excellent. The grounding, you generally see the Oberkommando grenades here being used sort of more offensive rather than for sort of obscuring purposes. Oh well. There you go, first Sherman up, Panther opens up. Both of their close are getting annihilated. Very close in fact. Giap, Panther joins in. There you go, veterancy free on the Panther. Making it noticeably more lethal. And the thick snow, no one can see what's actually going on here.
Ops report the weather is lifting.
Nate.
Stand by for confirmation.
Need a bit of support there versus the Orbital Dart, no fear. Then again, looks like they might... Another smoke grenade there. Might allow to get them. But no, Panther rushing in. Fortune not very fond of the flamethrowers, no one really were. And in fact, generally, flamethrower operators had a slight tendency of getting horribly murdered where they ever captured. For some reason, soldiers did not appreciate them, and generally they had to sort of a tendency of looking for burn marks, and they could sort of spot if there might be flamethrower operators amongst prisoners. So, no fun fact there. Rifle grenade attempted, but sadly failed to penetrate and damage the engine. Otherwise, they could have worked out quite nicely. Not enough tank support there, but the Giap Panther force actually exposing itself here. If only had an anti-tank rifle grenade to further disable it. Giap Panther 4, though, did not really manage to do much there. 50 cover, they're getting overwhelmed. 5 meters following up here. Ambulance might want to shift a bit there. Oh, one hell of a grenade there. Force is shifting back here. Giap Panther moving in. Stukas who's opening up as well. Utter chaos here, straight into everything. Good thing anybody weren't repairing here, otherwise that could have gotten very, very ugly there for him. Losing a lot of vehicle crews in the process, but now we're seeing all tanks forced back. Giap Panther charging in. He sees it, he could try and ambush it, but no, he's too busy repairing. Oh. There we go, damaged engine. He doesn't have anything sad to sort of really push it in with, because he... Oh, might he go for it? Might he go for it? A bit too late, I fear. A bit too late. Looks like the Giap Panther will escape for this time. Instead, it looks like the Shermans are basically escaping here, feeling awfully concerned here. Nice rate there by Fortune, causing a lot of damage. Another Steel Pioneer unit here on the way for Fortune. And all the tanks are basically moving up to the furthest away corner from where all the nasty stuff is happening. Already close to Veterancy 4, which would definitely be a pain for Mr. Giap, with increased accuracy and a longer range. Massive tank repairs going up of north. One of the benefits of the Americans, which also allows them to swiftly fix even large masses of armor.
Standing by.
Advancing up there, sandbag position being laid down. Looks like the Giap Panther force more ready. And the Pantrik's actually been abandoned there. And bad day for the Orbital Dart, running straight into 2 Shermans here. Down to 1 man. And the Fallschirmjägers here forced retreat past all of this now. Could he get them on retreat? Close. Down to 1 man, down to 1 man. Stukas who's falling in. Panther charging. Close. And there you go, Fallschirmjägers. George. That's definitely a hurtful experience right there for Fortune, that was a veteran T4 Fallschirmjäger unit. Smoke being laid down there to help the Shermans escape. In particular, his veteran T3. Interesting enough, it was the Giap Panther 4 leading the dash. And we're seeing a steward here arriving, a steward.
Supply line just got cut off.
Could it be his intention there of using the shell shock ability in conjunction with the Shermans? That could very well allow him to overcome the Panther in a much more safer way, of basically stunning it and then having the Shermans flank it. And basically using the high rate of fire then at the rear and basically knocking it out that way. That could make rather short work of it. Good lord, that was close, getting missed there. Shell shocking, and he's actually stunning it. He's stunning it. Shermans need to move in now. They want to sort of save the steward. There you go, Giap Panther in an awful lot of trouble here.
We lost a gun crew.
Veteran T4. And there you go, Giap Panther stood no chance. Cleared out in seconds. Stugas of course cleared out as well. One Sherman about to go down here. There you go, out of control, Stewart joining in there. Not enough munitions for shell shock. So, oh, the rifleman got crushed! Blitzkrieg utterly wiping them out, leaving behind only a flamethrower. That Panther's an absolute beast. Veteran U4 close to Veteran U5. Smoke grenade going down there. Sherman stashing about there. Giap's forces dangerously overextended. On the other hand, Fortune's forces have also taken quite a thrashing. I mean, he locked the Giap Panther infantry. And the Stukas are first. He's down to just the Panther and a few elite infantry squads, though certainly. And what's this? Luftwaffe strike going in there. Fresh Fallschirmjägers popping in behind enemy lines. Clearing out the ambulance as well. Just as another fresh Sherman moves in from reserve. And the Unicum wiped out retreat. Another rifleman squad utterly annihilated. Seems like the Luftwaffe managed to do a bit extra damage there. Needs to quickly do something to stop those Fallschirmjägers doing those can sort of regain fuel points. Smoke grenade there, covering the retreat. Good job. 50 cover though was wiped out. Things getting more ugly. Definitely a bit of a test. There go, Fallschirmjägers down to half health. Panther mulling about still. Stewart being repaired though. He might have a chance, but now we're seeing here Raketenwerfers are basically being rushed to the field. In a desperate mad bit there. But now charging ahead, he might be able to get it. The Raketenwerfer has no chance. There we go. Veteran fleet, can he get it? Well, he's charging in ahead. The Panther there will have a range advantage. Rate of fire advantage, overall advantage there. He needs to engage this probably with the Shermans. Combat blitz, and there we go. He got the Sherman. He got the Sherman. Though he got off one more parting shot there.
A medium tank was just lost.
On the other hand, with the Steward and shell shock, he might have a chance right now. It's low on health. The question is, will Giap go again, or will he feel he's been rather hammered out there? Our way now, Fortune is working as hard as he can here to try and repair it. He knows all hope rests on this one Panther's veteran crew. Extremely close to Veteran 5, by the way. Can Giap do something about this, or will Fortune? Well, it looks like Fortune's doing it. Veteran 4 close to Veteran 5 orbital line as well. Lots of riflemen being summoned up to the front line here.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
50 caliber cleared out again.
We lost a gun crew. Coming from. That's it, fellas.
And there we go. Panzerkampfwagen gefechtsbereit.
We're losing a capture point.
Zerstören Sie die Amerikaner. All the way, Fajmi is making quick work of the rifleman. The Obersoldaten will finish off the job there.
We lost an infantry unit.
Not looking good for Giap.
Taking fire.
The veteran infantry is definitely proving to be a problem with the Panthers, even more so for the armour.
Capture point.
Smoke again, good job there, preventing any pursuit. When he shots from far away, and there we go. Veteran C5.
Our riflemen will now be better
Should now be able
trained
to
for
really get
deployment.
much use out of the higher range it has. Plus far more effective on the move overall. This Panther is an ace. A true hero of the Western Front. Also Eastern Front if it's over there. Nasty work there. A real Bachmann. Ernst Bachmann. Though, if you actually ever read the notes, or well, memoirs of Ernst Bachmann, he keeps talking about himself in third person. It's actually a bit weird. It's a bit weird. It's sort of something I noticed. He keeps referring to himself in third person. But he was apparently a bit of a Panther race,
Stand by for confirmation.
from what I understand. Though there has been apparently some controversy about one action where he supposedly did a lot of damage to the Americans, but no records of the Americans actually show them losing that much there at all. In fact, anything. So there's a bit of discussion on that. Charge going off there, starting it, and there goes, he's charging in, but doesn't quite have the force here for it.
The weather has cleared.
There we go, behind the Panther, rear armor exposed by Ken Meffers are moving in already. Panther though taking heavy damage here, can he do it, can he do it? Smoke going down there into each other, Ken Meffers can shoot, another Ken Meffers shooting, and there you go, Panther down! Panther down! The Veteran T5 Panther is kaput! And just as that happens, another Panther freshly arrives. Sadly again, he was not able to clear out that spare Panzer quarters. In the end there, the tanks are simply getting shredded, heavily damaged. He might be able to get like heading there for at least one of them, but there we go. Panther got the killing blow, Sherman cooked up, and there you go, GG from Giap, GG. And what a fight that was. Really absolutely brutal there. We saw some veterans on both sides. We saw some great armor engagements. We saw some clever armor tactics. I mean, using Stuarts and shell truck, well, with shell trucking together with tanks, for example, to quickly get an advantage of those armor. Nice idea. Sadly, though, Giap might have been using it only recently. Certainly, he didn't quite have it sort of fully locked down, but I mean, he still had an effect, so that was pretty nicely. I think the issue, though, was in part that occasionally Giap would just sort of hold back, and he sadly, I mean, he was given a golden opportunity to knock out the spare Panther course the way that Fortune laid up, but sadly he never really sort of came down around to it, sort of really just knocking it out. That rather allowed for that second Panther here. Otherwise, he might have looked a bit more better off overall. And in terms of force composition, pretty nice though. Again, I wish he'd used anti-armor piercing rounds a bit more on the anti-tank gun, and maybe he should have considered replacing his lieutenant after he lost him. I mean, the lieutenant is pretty solid. Same with the captain, he might have just given a bit extra in the fight as it went on. But otherwise, good use of grenades, smoke grenades. He could have done with some burning automatics instead, maybe all of those flamethrowers. I mean, a mix of BS and flamethrowers could maybe have done a bit better as well. And I'm surprised to see no white phosphorus smoke barrages whatsoever. It's been overall, there were some props in the sort of longer term that left Giap sort of a bit weaker as the game progressed. He sort of didn't quite go for advantage, sort of deliver killing blows at times, which rather allowed sort of Fortune sort of slightly bounce back and never slowly sort of get back into the fight. But that's not to say no, Fortune did poorly as well. I mean, he did his best to sort of ensure that Giap was always a bit off balance. He kept striking here and there. He made good use sort of terrain. The tank types here did a lot of good. Basically showing that Giap, after the time he pushed back, he'd had to take sort of the path up here, and that exposed his unit as well, sort of getting wiped down instead of being able to take a safer retreat route there. So that was really sterling done there by Fortune to actually alter the battlefield's advantage. Great use of the smoke, both officers getting but also offensively. And always, you know, good use of his infantry. And also just great to see a Veteran G5 Panther. So rare, but, you know, it's just that special when he gets there. So, overall, I hope you enjoyed this really exciting 1-versus-1 match here on Holotny Fema Winter. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something. It gave you some ideas for your own matches, some tactics there. Again, I really would recommend you trying to do some stuff there with Stuart in conjunction with other units. So try and get advantage versus German armor. And otherwise, you know, I hope you'll keep watching, keep following. If you do, you know, enjoy it, you know, subscribe if you aren't already. Feel free to share with friends, family, and I'll let you know. Send in your own replays, provide feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and thank you all for watching.